Alright, hey guys. So, another shave today. I'll be shaving the dome. As you can see, I have about a day's worth of hair growth. Might clean up the beard after the video, but it's not looking too bad. I think I cleaned it up yesterday if I remember. So let's get right into this. So for today, I am going to be using GentleMan's Nod Juniper Reverie. Reverie? I think it's Reverie, but who knows? Oh man, it's a great scent. Love the artwork on that. You can see the gold foil and the lettering there. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you'll be able to see those or not. Probably not, because my phone sucks. But that's the ingredients. Again, you guys know I'm not big on naming all the scent notes. But what I get from this is juniper berries, which makes sense, Juniper Reverie, and a lemon. I would say it is a little cologne-y. I do enjoy it though. I'm trying to figure out how much I enjoy it. I enjoy it enough that I do have the matching splash. We'll be using that today. And this has the same gold foil. And it's in a tinted bottle, which, what's that supposed to do, from my understanding, I'm not sure if GentleMan's Nod, the reason why they have the tinted bottle is because of this fact, but with things like this, when you have it in a tinted bottle, it'll last longer because sometimes sun exposure can mess with certain ingredients and splashes, from my understanding, make them go bad quicker. And I do have the matching EDP. I don't have it here right now with me, but I will be spraying it after all this is over. Actually, no, I'll go get it right now. And you know, as always, I live in an RV, so I don't have a lot of room to get full sets of like EDPs, EDTs, the bomb, and all that. So when I usually have an EDP matching of a set or a bomb, there's two reasons. Either A, I got it as a bundle, so it was cheaper that way because I maybe bought it used, or B, it's that great of a scent. This one, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I found it used on the BST. I think I got the whole thing used. I can't remember, but this is basically a brand new thing. If I remember right, I'm pretty sure I got it used, but I think it was like basically brand new. Like the person only used it once. So on this bottle, it's just clear with the gold little GentleMan Nod logo. It says perfume extract, fake plastic wood, and then on the coin, that's where it says Juniper Reverie. So nothing too fancy, not bad though. I do have 3 EDPs from Juniper Reverie. I have from GentleMan's Nod. I have this one, I have Musashi, and I have Croatia, Catalina, the one that's kind of peach scent. And I will say I love the spray on these. It just feels really great. It's not cheap. It sprays great each time. Some EDPs and EDTs that I've seen artisans sell, they leave a lot to be lustered with the spray. You know, when I'm spraying, I want that thing to be misting, and I want it to not feel cheap. And some of the other artisans out there, I will say, their sprays feel cheap. Their bottles are cheaper though, I will say that. Like this one, I can't remember, maybe it's like around 60 bucks. And some of the other artisans that I'm talking about, their sprayers are around 30 to 40 bucks. So less money, maybe that's why it's cheaper quality, I don't know. But I do also have a backup of this. And I got a backup of it because I got it on the BSTs as well. and it was just really cheap. It was such a good deal that I was like, oh, you know, I can't pass that up. But now, knowing what I know, that I can get Juniper Reverie any day of the week, all time of the year, it is a good scent, but I am thinking about selling that backup. So I need to use this more to see how much I really like it. Do I want to keep that backup? Am I going to use enough of it this summer, spring to keep that backup? Because again, I live in a 32-foot RV, full-time. Been doing it for 5 years now. So I don't have a lot of room. So things like these, I went overboard, and I need to kind of downsize some of it now. My only complaint about the scent, and I do smell it off the puck a little bit, but it's definitely when I spray the EDP, I've noticed it now a lot more the more I've used the EDP, because I didn't use it too much last year because I got it towards the end when it was becoming fall, so I really didn't get a chance to use this scent that much. And it does have a kind of a cologne. So you get the lemon, you get the juniper berry, but then there's this like backdrop of cologne scent to it, which, you know, some people might enjoy. To me, it's almost overdone, and I'm getting that right now off here, and I definitely get it off the EDP, but you know, it is what it is. Blade of choice today is going to be a Gillette Nacet, and it's second use. We're using the Wolfman WR2 1.55 gap, and I've said it in my videos. I think I said it in my last video, maybe not. But what I'm doing now is I'm trying to use like each razor of mine for like a week straight, and that gives me a really good excuse to really use all my razors. One, and two, it really is starting to make me understand what razors I enjoy more than others and what razors I need to move. And this one it's my king right now. It's my king of kings from my DE razor. It is by far the most efficient razor I own, and it's just as smooth as my medium to low efficiency razors. Like, this is as smooth as the Carve Overlander, but it's a lot more efficient, and the fit and finish is a hell of a lot nicer on it too. So this is just the basic polish, and look at that. His basic polish is as good as anybody's. Now, I usually don't use this handle with it. This is the Wolfman handle. It's a hybrid. It's because it has this grip on one handle and this grip on the other handle. I forgot how he labels his handles, but it's like between 3 and 7. Like, this one's 3 and this one has the grip of number 7, I think. But like I said, I forgot. I should probably start looking that up before I make a video. But the reason I don't usually use this handle is because it makes the razor fairly heavy, because this is stainless steel. So usually what I use is my Timeless TI crown handle with the Wolfman head, and that makes a perfect balance. But I was like, oh, you know what? I'll use the Wolfman handle again today. The Wolfman handle, I have been using it with my version 1 of the Winning razor, and it works really well for that. But this is a good handle. Like, I love the grip on it. I love how it looks. It looks great. Has the same basic polish, which is top notch. But yeah, it does make the razor a little heavy, is my only downfall. Again, I like my razors from about 40 grams to about that 85 gram mark. And this is probably a little over that. This is probably, I would assume, around 105 grams. It's probably about as much as my Carve Overlander. But yeah, just a great looking razor. Another thing I do like about this razor, and I like about my razors to have, is the tabs. I can grip here without having to worry about the blade tabs showing and cutting me. I like that on my razors. That's just the personal preference for me. I like it when the tabs are hidden to where I can hold that when I, unscrew and screw. So for today, another cool thing is we're going to be using 2 brushes. I had this one right over here soaking, and this one I'm going to put it into soak. So this one is going to be Turn and Shave Galaxy H7 28 millimeter, and it is a phenomenal looking brush, and H7 is in my top 3 hair from Turn and Shave. This one is a Turning by Tans, so Tan Z handle, and it has an L3, so Milton's third batch of hair. I got this one used. I bought this one brand new from his last drop. And today what I want to do is I've been wanting to compare the M7 hair, and again this is H though because it's high density, and this is the L for the low density 3. I've been wanting to compare the M3 hair compared to the H7 because they seem very similar to me in a lot of aspects, so we're going to do that today. And another cool thing about comparing brushes that I like is it uses more soap. So we're just going to kind of shake out some of that. And I don't know if you guys like to see the pour, but there's the pour. It is a softener, but not a crope. As you can see, I can easily push in there. From what I remember, I really like GentleMan's Nod's base. This one is the C4. I've only used the C4, never used the C3 base. And it's really nice. From what I remember, it's fairly easy to work with. It builds a very nice, dense lather that I like. Of course, because this is a high density, it will eat up a little bit of soap, which I'm not complaining because I have so much soap anyways. But what's interesting to me about these high density, the H density from Turn and Shave, is a lot of people say like that they're really hard to load because they're so dense, and I honestly don't find them that much harder to load than any other brush I've ever used. Of course, they do take a little bit more lather because it's more hair, right? The more hair you have, the more lather it's going to eat and keep in that knot. I did not bloom this tub just because it was so soft. I was like, probably don't really need to bloom it. I do enjoy blooming my soaps though, because then the scent fills the room. And I find it makes it a little easier to load because when that soap has a little bit of warm water on it, of course it's going to make that top layer a little softer, which makes it a little easier for the hair to pick up the soap. Right, because that's what's happening right now. The hair is touching that soap and slowly rubbing it and picking it up into the knot. And I think that's a pretty good load. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to get some water on the head. I'm going to use some of this excess lather that's right here. And I'm just going to rub it on the head. Almost as like a kind of a pre-shave, even though it's not really a pre-shave. It's really just an excuse to use the excess lather. Leave that a little bit more wet. Ooh, look at that. One hair. And I just ran a little bit of water over those tips. We're going straight to the dome. And when I compare brushes, what I usually do is I'll use half on this side and then half on the other. That way I can kind of feel how soft and luxurious it feels, how the flow through feels. So let's do that. So now I'm just going to load again from the soap tub. Now the thing is, it's kind of also hard to compare these brushes in a sense, because that one is denser than this one. It's going to have a different feel to it. And I've definitely noticed that about some of my brushes when I compare them, that it's a bit challenging because of the densities. Like if the density was exactly the same, it would be a lot easier. Okay, let's put a little bit of water in there. I've noticed that putting a little water in there during the load seems to help speed the process up a little bit more. And I just like to do circles in one directions and then circles in the other directions. And I'm not smashing it down, but after about 20 seconds, I do put a little pressure downwards. And that looks pretty good. So let's dump those tips now. Boom. And we're going to go straight to the dome. And I can already tell that this, on both ends, is going to need a lot more water. And I'm probably going to have to load some more soap on this one for my third pass probably, or second pass. C4 is a little bit more thirsty than I remember. Oh yeah. And all I'm doing is just dipping those tips in just to get them nice and, oh yeah. See how nice and creamy that is? You start to see a really nice shine on it. And then this is what I like to do. So, right off the bat, it's interesting because even though this is low density and this is high density, I will say that when he made this low density, I think this low density was higher than his low density offering nowadays. Don't quote me on that, but I think back on batch 3, his low density was more of a, what you would consider a medium density nowadays. This is nice. Honestly, this hair, it kind of reminds me of, one of the guys said it in the community to me the other day, that batch 3 is very similar to B13 from Declaration Grooming, and I gotta say he's not wrong. It actually does remind me of B13, where this H7 reminds me a lot of my favorite batches from Declaration Grooming, being B14 and B16. Almost said 17. 17's a bad batch. Don't do 17. But I would say the big difference with this one is B14 is very jelly. This is not jelly. This isn't jelly either. B13 isn't very jelly either. B16 from Declaration Grooming is also not jelly. Very natural, very soft. Okay, that's nice. They're similar. Even in density, they feel similar. I can definitely tell the H density is a little bit more dense, but the L3, it's pretty close to the same amount of density. Both felt really soft and luxurious. Oh yeah. It's cleaning out nicely. So lather's very well hydrated. The scent strength on this, once lathered, pretty strong. I mean, it's not bold. I would give it a... it's pretty close to bold, actually. Look at all that. That's why I love the Wolfman. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I would probably give it a... out of 10 being the strongest. Wow, look at that. See how it curls right over? That's how hydrated it is. Look at that. Bloop. I would give it... yeah, it's probably on the bold side. I would give it a 6. No, maybe a 7. I don't think any of the GentleMan Nod offerings I have, which I have 3 like I said, none of them are weak scented, which I enjoy. I enjoy a stronger scented soap, personally. My theory behind that is why I like that is because the whole reason I enjoy the wet shaving hobby and the reason I have so many soaps is because of the scents. So I like them to be nice and strong to where I can smell them. And they make me smell nice and good like a snack. Because, you know, I don't have sensitive skin. I know some people do, so maybe if you have sensitive skin, you don't want a really strong scent, because then it could make you break out and things like that, right? It could do some damage to your skin or even burn your skin. When you have really strong scents, sometimes they'll burn your skin. It's known as frag burn. Or if there's just something in that scent that doesn't agree with your skin, it could also give you frag burn. And I've had frag burn once. It was not by GentleMan's Nod though. Ironically, it was actually by Shannon Soaps. It was one of her Halloween scents. And it was a phenomenal scent too, which just kind of sucks. Because I ended up like saying fuck it, and I used it like 3 times. Hoping I could figure out a way to not get frag burn from it, because I liked the scent that much on it. And it was a nice soap, and it was cheap. It was like $10. But nope, it burned me 3 times. I ended up, I think I ended up giving it away for free. Just because it was so cheap. Like I said, it was only $10 brand new. So, you know, what am I going to try to sell it for? $5, and it's going to cost me that to ship it. So I just gave it away for free. First round, that was really nice. I'm going to take some of the soap off of here. And we're going to spread it out a little bit. And I'm just going to wash that puck off a little bit. I don't know, maybe it's my OCD, but I like to wash the puck off a little bit with water. It doesn't waste a whole lot of a soap that I've ever noticed, but I just like how it looks, and it dries a little better, I think, sometimes. So we're going right back to it. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's switch. Put a couple more drops of water in there, because, you know, when your soap's just sitting there, it's kind of drying by the air a little bit. Oh man, yeah, both of these are phenomenal. I can definitely tell now that it's definitely lower density on this side. But interestingly enough, I mean, H7 might feel a little bit softer. Hard to tell though. And I know this L3 has probably a shit ton more uses on it. Just because of, you know, it's a couple years old. And I bought it used. And I do have quite a bit, I don't have quite a bit. I have a good amount of uses for this, for how new it is. I have less than 10, but more than like 4 uses on it. Yeah, I don't know, it's so hard. And the reason why I really wanted to compare them today is because I have a custom brush from Turn and Shave coming. It's a 30 millimeter, beautiful handle. Custom work, it's been in the works for quite a few months now. And he asked me what hair I wanted to use, and I had no idea what hair to say. I didn't know that was like an option. I wasn't expecting him to ask. I thought he was just going to tell me like, oh hey, I only have batch 8 ready, so you know, what density do you want? So when he asked me like, hey, what hair, I was like, oh crap, I wasn't prepared for that. And I know my 3 favorites are batch 3, batch 7, and batch 5. I'm not saying the other batches are bad, because I have an H4 and I really enjoy that H4 a lot. The brush itself is fucking phenomenal looking, and the hair is great, but it's just not as good as what I like in the batch 3, batch 7, and batch 5. I have a M6 too, which is, it's a great brush, but again, I like those 3 batches better. So I was like, crap, man, which one do I want? And I almost said batch 5. The reason I didn't is because I already have an L5, I have an M5, and I have 2 H5s. So I have 4 brushes with M5 hair. Like I said, 2 high densities, 1 medium density, and 1 low density. So I have a lot of batch 5 hair. And one of them is a really special brush. It's the Galaxy Pour handle, but it's a 29 millimeter. And that's the only 29 millimeter that he's ever made on a drop with a Galaxy. So that's a pretty special brush. With my batch 3, I have this one that I bought used because I wasn't buying custom brushes when batch 3 came out. And then I have another L3 that I bought used that's in a Trotter brush. And then my 7, I have this one. And then I have my Boba, which is part M7 hair, but part boar hair as well. So really I only have this in the 7. And I have 2 in the 3. So I knew like, okay, I don't want a 5 second round across the grain. So I knew like 5 is good, but I already had so many 5s that I'm like, okay, which one do you want? Do you want 3 or do you want 7? And I like the 3. The 3 is nice, but I'm not sure how it would feel in a heavier density offering. And the thing with that brush is it is a sick handle, and it's been in the works for a while. So the thing is, I don't want to get a knot in it and then not really like the knot, because that would be like a huge waste. And it's not a cheap brush, so if I had to resell it, there's no way I would get anywhere near how much it's costing me. So I went with H7, and I usually go with Milton's high densities just because I feel like there's nothing else like it. You know, I feel like Declaration Grooming is a good medium density brush, and I feel like my Varlets are like a low density option. So I feel like when I get a turn and shave, I usually go with high density because of that. Usually, but not always, because like I said, I have a few low densities and medium density offerings from Milton. But I usually only get those if I already have an H. And so over the last day, after I told him I wanted it to be H7, I've been thinking to myself, like, oh shit, should I have told him batch 3 instead? Just because you don't see a lot of batch 3 brushes on the market. And back then, he only had 2 density options. He only had the L3 and the M3. And the M3, from my understanding, was pretty dense back then. It's not the same as the M is today. Oh yeah. And we're basically BBS. Like, there's a couple spots that aren't super smooth, but for the most part, we're BBS right now on two goes. But we're gonna go for round 3. So I don't know, part of me wanted to go with batch 3, but ask him if he could do like your current H density with the 3 hair to see what that would feel like. But then part of me was also scared that, oh shit, like maybe you won't like it. Like, I like this, but maybe it won't feel as good in a more dense offering. And then part of me also thought about maybe going with a medium density, because this feels good. But yeah, I don't know, sometimes, you know, I'm so indecisive with things, because like, I gotta say that this does feel nice, because the flow through is great. Like, you can see the flow through and how easy that is. With the flow through on the H, it's not bad, but it's definitely not as easy, which makes sense, right? It has more hair, as you can see. Hair difference. But I like the H density because it just feels like so luxurious and plush. I guess it's like kind of almost the same as like bedding and towels and clothes, you know, where usually the more thread count, it's like softer and more supple feeling. And that's kind of how I feel about this. Let's get some more agua in there. As you can tell, like this C4, yeah man, it takes a lot of water. It might be one of the more thirsty soaps. And I don't remember being this thirsty last year when I was using it for summer. But it's definitely a thirsty soap. It's just taking all this water. So I don't know. Did I make the best choice picking an H7 versus batch 3? Batch 3 is nice, man. This is really nice on my head right now. I don't know. On my third pass, third round, I felt like for the first 2 rounds that H7 was softer than the 3. But now, on this third pass, I feel like the 3 is softer. I mean, I'm not saying that this isn't soft. H7 is still fucking a cloud. But, yeah, I don't know, maybe... Yeah, I think 3 is just a little bit softer, guys. So I don't know. It might even be too late to change, to even try to change the knot if I wanted to, for all I know. This is the third pass and the final pass. Look at that, it's still just hacking away. It's crazy, like, when you have a really efficient razor, how much more hair it'll get when you go against the grain. Even when you went already with the grain and across the grain and you're like, oh man, it feels so smooth. A razor like this will just dig in and get even more hair that you didn't realize was there. Yeah. I mean, all those little black spots are more hair that I could not even feel. Whew. Looks like this might be a little bit of a longer video. So now we're going to go across the top of the dome, which I got to be careful because the skin on the top of your head is really quite thin compared to skin everywhere else on your body. Like I said, I don't have sensitive skin at all, but I've definitely noticed I have to be really careful with the top of my head because one, either I will cut my head very easily, or sometimes I will get like a little bit of a, not really pimples, but almost like a pimple. It's like in between a pimple and an ingrown hair, just like a little bump. Ooh, that is smooth. Ooh, yeah, that's good. Alright, let's just get that little rinse out. Let's get some water, agua on the head. Again, I've said it in other videos, but usually what I do now is I would usually use a little bit of Thayer's Witch Hazel. And for me personally, what I've noticed is when I use that, it really brings the irritation. And I don't know if irritation is even the right word. It's not like I'm shaving so hard I get irritated or I have sensitive skin. But it just, you know, when you shave, you're cutting your hairs, right? You're creating abrasions on your skin, no matter how you look at it, right? Because that blade is going across the skin, no matter how slick that soap is. And what I've noticed personally is by using the witch hazel, which witch hazel is, it brings down inflammation in your skin, is it really helps with my recovery of my shave. I've noticed when I use it, especially like when I clean up my beard, because I don't shave this every day anymore, that I get less irritation and less breakouts. But again, I think I did this in my last video too. I left it in my bathroom over there, and I don't feel like going to get it. And sometimes it's nice just to see how the splash does. But usually when I use the witch hazel, I'll give it a few minutes to let it dry on my head or my face, and then from there, then I'll use my aftershave splash. Another cool thing about the witch hazel is it's a good like astringent, so it cleans out those pores. You know, because right now when you're shaving, you're cutting away all that dead skin, you're scraping the top layer of skin off, so you're really opening your pores on your face and on your head. And using an astringent like witch hazel that doesn't have alcohol in it, right, so it's not super drying, like when you use the splash, it already has alcohol in it. It'll help with that inflammation, and then it helps also clean out those pores. Ooh. See, that's so close that gave me a little bit of a burn, because Gentleman's Nod does have alcohol in it. I don't think it's a super high content of alcohol, because I don't remember it ever burning my skin before. The splash kicks up the strength. I would say the splash is probably an 8. Soap's probably a 7. Splash is definitely an 8. I do like Gentleman's Nod splash. I don't know why some people hate this, but I like splashes where they make my skin feel kind of almost like sticky, because that makes my skin feel really like supple. That to me is how it feels after I put on like lotion and even like a little bit of sunblock. My skin just feels like moisturized, supple. And a lot of artisans splashes I've noticed don't do that, because I think they don't focus on a lot of skin food in the splashes. They're just high alcohol content. Gentleman's Nod, you know, I'm no scientist, so I don't know how much skin food. You can see the ingredients there, and you can look at it on his site. How many of those are actually like really good for your skin compared to, you know, placebo effect of just how it feels for me. But I would say Gentleman's Nod is one of the splashes where I do enjoy it, because it does make my skin feel really supple. Like right now, it's like nice, sticky, feels good. I like that. And then we're gonna use the spray to top off this beautiful scent for today. 1, 2. Oh, and that smells good. Like I said, so the splash wasn't cologne at all. Actually, beautiful scent. This again, like, I get the lemon, I get the juniper, but then in the backdrop, it's kind of like the soap. There's almost like this cologne linger. I wish the splash scent, I wish the soap and the EDP was a crisp and beautiful scent like the splash. All three scents are great. They're all very similar, but with the soap and the EDP, to me personally, I get like this kind of cologne-y vibe in the background. I don't get that with the splash though. And that was great. So let's do a really somewhat quick recap. We used our WR2 1.55 gap with a Gillette Nacet, second use. The soap today and the splash was Gentleman Nod, Juniper Reverie. I think it's a Revere, but who knows. Beautiful, beautiful artwork on this. We did finish it with the matching EDP. Oh man, that's nice. For the brushes today, I wanted to compare the H7 And this is the Galaxy Pour Turn and Shave with my L3. This is the TNS handle. L3 knot, H7 knot. I wanted to compare the 7 hair compared to the 3 hair. Very similar. Both are super soft. Both have like zero gel. They don't dry super crunchy. I don't know which one I prefer because of the density difference. It really makes it kind of hard for me to say which one I enjoy more. I will say at the end, on that third go around, that the L3 felt a lot softer than my H7. For the first 2 rounds, my H7 did feel a lot more softer, more cloud-like feel. Both are phenomenal. I like both. I'm glad I have both. Hopefully I'm just as happy with my custom brush that I have coming with that H7 knot and that I didn't pick the 3 knot. But I hope you guys all enjoyed the shave. I hope you guys all are having a great week and great shaves, and I'll catch you on the next one.